Welcome to the last video for lesson 1. To cap things off, we will be doing two simple exercises that will allow you to get started on your scripting journey. So for exercise 1, what we want to achieve at the end is to have a message box that says hello world. So like what you see here, this is the hello world message box. And we want to put it in from the activity tab into your designer tab and type in hello world into the message box. Finally, run the file. Let's go back to our UiPath interface. This is where we left off. So as you saw earlier, we are looking for a message box, not a click. Therefore, let's delete away this click. If you notice, we also see that the message box is actually stored within a sequence. So before we start with that message box, let's look for a sequence. So pull the sequence into your designer panel, and the first thing you need to do is always link your start to the sequence. Double click into the sequence and you notice that now you are actually in a different screen. To get back to the previous screen, you see that there are breadcrumbs on the top left corner of the design panel. Clicking on exercise 1 brings you back to the original screen. Double clicking on the sequence now brings up that sequence breadcrumb. Look for a message box and drag it into your sequence. Do remember that when you type in your hello world, you need to have your double quotes. And when we are ready, now we can press play. Play actually executes that robot. Or rather that process. Let's see what happens. When we click play, it would say that the execution has started and a message box appears saying hello world. Aside from being the first exercise, message boxes are also very helpful when it comes to trying to help you understand why certain processes have gone wrong. You can actually output certain values or certain clues into why your process didn't work. We will go into that or we'll find out more about that as we go along. That brings us to the end of exercise 1. Now let's proceed to exercise 2. To prepare for exercise 2, we first need to install a UiPath extension inside Chrome. As mentioned in the notes, it is only necessary the first time. The next time you would like to record using Chrome, you do not need to install the extension anymore. So just a quick overview of the process. We want to go to Home, look for the Chrome extension, and when you click on it, it allows you to install the extension. But that's not the end. We still need to enable this extension. Open up a Chrome browser, click on the 3 dots and look for more tools, extensions, and we need to enable it. Following, we click on details and allow incognito and access to URL or found URLs. Let's take a look at the UiPath and let me do a quick demo. So previously I was in exercise 1. Go to Home, select the Chrome extension. Clicking OK will allow you to install the extension. So here they're telling me that my Chrome browser needs to be closed before I install. So I'm okay to close them, and it should tell you that your UiPath extension was successfully installed. Next step, open up a Chrome browser and let's look at how we can enable the extension. So under More Tools, look for Extensions. Scroll down and look for the UiPath extension. Enable it by clicking so that it turns blue. Go to Details and enable these two options as well. We are now ready to begin exercise 2. Let's take a look at what is required in this exercise. So we first need to save our previous flowchart and create a new one, naming it exercise 2. And now what we want to do is we want the process to, every time it is run, open up lazada.sg. So first go to launch Google Chrome, navigate to lazada.sg. From the design toolbar in UiPath, click on recording web open browser. This is where you can find it. We will go through the steps later on in your UiPath. And what we want to do, click on the URL bar, insert in what you see, the HTTPS, colon, and so on. Next, click OK. And now you will want to click on the search bar. So click on type from the toolbar in UiPath first, then click on the search bar and key in iPhone. Select, click from the toolbar, click on the search button, which is the magnifying glass, and you are done. At this point, you will be ready to run your file. So let's take a look at how it is done in UiPath. So first thing I want to do is I want to save this exercise 1. Do note that when you click as save as, you can see the location at which this process is being stored. Just like in the notes, we want to go to new and select a new flowchart, naming it exercise 2. You now have both exercise 1 and exercise 2 available to you as tabs. Next, close the Chrome browser you were using previously and open a new Chrome browser. In this new Chrome browser, what you want to do is now go back to your UiPath interface, click on recording, web. Click on the open browser and click on the URL address bar. This should open up this URL tab. If it does not, you may need to reinstall or follow the steps to install your extension again. Paste in the required URL address, which is lazada.sg, and click on OK. Go back to the address bar, search for lazada.sg again, select type, click on the search bar. Do note that whenever I mouse over and your extension is installed correctly, the element has a yellow border. Try to be as accurate as you can to make sure that you don't run into errors later on. Click on it, type iPhone, and press enter. Once you are done, select the click button. Again, mouse over the magnifying glass. You see that there's an orange border around it, and click on it. That brings us to the end of the script. Click save and exit. As always, link your start button to the web, and once you are ready, you can test it out. So let's close our Lazada browser, and then we click on the play button. Once the execution starts, it opens a Chrome browser, goes to lazada.sg, searches for, types in iPhone, clicks on the magnifying glass, and you arrive at this page. So that brings us to the end of lesson 1. If you need to open the file that you have saved previously, you can always go back to Home, and under Home, you will see your recent VBA projects. So for example, if I wanted to open RPA intro, I could just click on it. And I would see that the project is now open. If I wanted to reference a specific script, for example, exercise 1, I can just double click in the project panel and it will open up for me. Thank you.